Chong Li the current champ?
He's never been defeated. Holds awesome records, including the fastest KO. He killed a guy during the last Kumite.
Yep, kicked the poor bastard right in the throat. I died right there on the platform. Chong Li stood there and watched him die.
Welcome back to Thinking Critical. This is Wes, and it feels like all I've been talking about is DC Comics lately on the channel, and that's for good reason. It feels like DC Comics are the only ones releasing any information, making any noise. But today I do have some Marvel Comics news, and it's not all good news. And depending on if you like King in Black, it might not be any good news at all. So I'm going to talk about this article here from Bleeding Cool. Normally I would never go to Bleeding Cool, and I don't suggest you do it either. There is tons of pop-ups and malware and all that kind of stuff, and this will borderline kill your computer if you're not careful with Bleeding Cool's website. So I'm taking the risk for you, folks. That's how much I love you. And then also I'm going to talk about a bunch of things that are tied into King in Black that are coming out in the future. Obviously, that is the big Marvel Venom event following up Absolute Carnage that came out last year. Was huge. It was coming out about the same time as House of Powers of 10. Was a huge hit for Donny Cates and Ryan Stegman. I imagine King in Black will be even bigger because that event was essentially a prelude to King in Black, and it feels like Marvel is putting a ton of eggs in that King in Black basket. But before I get into all the details of all this information, this Marvel Comics news that I'm giving to you, I will say this. If you're enjoying the content on the channel, you've been coming around, but you haven't made the leap, today is the day, folks. Subscribe to Thinking Critical YouTube. Hit the bell for notifications. Give me an enormous thumbs up if you like this content. Give me an enormous thumbs down if you don't. Either way, I'd love to hear your comments and the feedback. I would love to hear your feedbacks in the comments section. I do read them all. I've been doing my best to read all the comments lately, and I'm replying to as many as I can. It is a lot of work. I am a one-man show for the most part when it comes to interacting with the viewers on the channel. So I'm doing my best. If you leave a comment, I will read it. I almost guarantee it, as long as it's in the first 24 hours of the video being released. I don't keep going back and reading the comments, obviously. So today we have some interesting news. This first one is from Bleeding Cool. Marvel Comics printers issues will see delays next Wednesday. And this is pretty sucky because some of these are big-time issues. Marvel Comics has issued the following warnings for different retailers around the country regarding issues they have been having with printers of late. Comic book stores served out of Diamond Comic Distributors Plattsburgh, New York distribution center will be hit the hardest. Orders for Thor #7, obviously. Thor, Donny Cates' story has been an enormous run. The latest in the Black Winter storyline, which has been huge. X-Men #12, kicking off the Ten of Swords crossover. Obviously, that's Jonathan Hickman. His X-Men series is definitely a top seller at Marvel Comics. Ten of Swords is their big event before King in Black. And the timeless variant cover for Giant Size X-Men Storm #1 will be partially filled. So, yeah, that sucks. A Giant Size X-Men Storm #1, that will definitely be covered here on This Week in X-Men next week. And it sucks that they're going to be shorted on these because these are comics people are going to be wanting to read, and in the shops that in the Northeast are counting on these comics to bring people in and drive sales. So hopefully the retailers don't kind of try and take advantage of this and start popping up the cover prices on day of release. That would suck, especially for the customers in the region. But hopefully, if this is why you gotta have pull list, people. You need a pull box, so if things like this get shorted, you get priority. Because if you have a pull list, you're always going to get your comics first. So I definitely suggest, if you haven't gotten a pull list with your comic shop, if you're a regular customer, you should probably just invest in that. It only protects yourself, and you're essentially you're going to get the comic for the cover price, unless you have the world's biggest scumbag for LCS owner, and they try to bump up the prices on you anyway. If you have a pull list, you should be getting the comics, all the comics that you want. You should be the priority and get them at cost every single time. So, like I said, Thor #7, X-Men #12, Giant Size X-Men Storm. But that's not all. While orders of X Factor #1 second printing, Shavrin Variant will not arrive at all. Neither will Iron Man #1 Brooks Variant. Okay, I forgot. Iron Man #1, that's another big event, big book. Iron Man should be a huge character. Obviously, Dan Slott's Iron Man was awful. But I do have faith that Christopher Cantwell and Cafu are going to do a great job on Iron Man. And I'm definitely excited for that. That will be reviewed right here on the channel on Wednesday next week. At least that's what I'm planning on doing. So it sucks if you order the Brooks variant because you're not going to be receiving it. They're not even getting partially filled. And this is the other notification for customers served out of the new Memphis, Mississippi Ridgeway Distribution Center. They will only be affected by not getting the X Factor #1 second printing Shavrin variant for a week. Here are other details of the book. So those are the details. That's essentially what's happening. If you're in the Northeast, you are definitely affected the most. Thor #7, X-Men #12, Giant Size X-Men Storm #1, partially filled for a variant cover, and then X Factor #1, Iron Man #1, Brooks variant won't be filled at all. So that sucks. Hopefully, if you're a viewer of the channel, you do have your pull list and you will not be affected. Now let's move on to the King in Black information. Let me close this before I get too much malware on my computer. Let's move over to the King in Black information. I remember when I did the video about Black Cat being canceled, and I was talking to Percy, I said, that one surprises me because while Black Cat isn't like a top 10 seller, it was still a good seller by Marvel standards. And the writer of the series, Jed McKay, at the time said Black Cat was not ending, that it was just going on hiatus. And we've now learned Black Cat will be returning as a series. She will have a new costume and will be returning as a #1 issue, people. The reason they have done this, obviously, when they launched Black Cat #1 last year, it had a lot of variant covers on it. And I believe the sales were upwards over 80 or 85,000 issues. So it was a big success for them. Obviously, the numbers rapidly declined because it's Black Cat. It's not Spider-Man. It's not X-Men. It's not even Hulk. So the numbers rapidly declined. So they're trying to get another hit. And this time they're trying to even get a bigger hit because it's going to be, there it is, folks, a King in Black tie-in series. So they are relaunching Black Cat #1. And this is the most Marvel thing of the 21st century. It will be relaunched with the very same writer, folks, probably following along with the very same story arc he was working with. So they're literally, this is the most fake Black Cat #1 you could ever imagine. This reeks, it's so odious. It's obvious that the Legion of doofuses have their fingers all over this. This feels like a Brevoort special, possibly with Jordan White telling him it was a good idea, probably backing him up on this one. So we will be seeing King of Black, Black Cat #1. Obviously, we know that was she was included in the Spider-Man Free Comic Book Day that alluded to King of Black as well. What does it say anything interesting in the solicitation? Feeling lucky, Null's attack on Earth interrupts the Black Cat's latest heist. And if you know Felicia, ooh, bye Felicia, you know that's a problem. So the Cat and her crew aim to steal something of greatest value to both Null and Earth's hope of survival. You'll have to pick up this. So she's going to steal something that Earth needs to survive. Well, that's not very friendly. So there you go. They're relaunching this. Like I said, when it happened, I was like, this doesn't make any sense. This is actually a decent seller. I'm surprised they would cancel this, but it's obviously a marketing ploy so they can get the Black Cat #1 bump up, obviously, and tie it into Black, the King in Black series. It's Marvel, people. If you don't expect this by now, I don't know. You haven't been paying attention. That's all I can tell you. What a Marvel. Whatever. We got more King in Black information. We're also getting King in Black Immortal Hulk #1 brings back Joe Fixit for a Christmas special. Ooh. Black Cat Christmas or King in Black Christmas special. Who wouldn't want that? This has a much better creative team on it. It will be regular Immortal Hulk writer Al Ewing and guest artist Aaron Cooter, who you would have most recently seen on Ed Brisson's Ghost Rider series, which was excellent. I was actually very disappointed that it got canceled. That was a really good series, and Aaron Cooter's art was a big part of that. I imagine he's gonna go into Immortal Hulk with King in Black, and it's gonna be a match made in heaven. His art is very gritty, it's dirty, it fits a story like this. So I think this one actually be pretty good. Hopefully a lot of people will pick this one up. Al Ewing, not my favorite writer, but he did there for a spell for like, I don't know, 21, 22 issues. Like Hulk was amazing, or Immortal Hulk was amazing. It was like the best series in comics. And then he just lost the plot when he was going into issue 25. Some people say he got it back, but I don't believe him. I got no faith that I think once Al Ewing takes a wrong turn, I think he just goes with it. He doesn't feel like a creator that self-corrects. But if I'm wrong, let me know in the comments section. Tell me I'm a dumbass. I'm waiting to hear. I imagine I'm going to be hearing that a lot because there are a lot of fans of Immortal Hulk and Al Ewing on that series. A present for Hulk. The Hulk is in a bad place. Half of his alters are dead or missing, including Bruce Banner, and the leader's got the rest of him on the ropes. But never let it be said that Joe Fixit doesn't know how to have a good time, and he's out to make sure this is the best holiday the Hulk's ever had. He just has to fight his way through a planet full of symbiotes first. So it sounds like by this time, the Earth is going to be, taken over by symbiotes. Makes sense. Noel's arriving. He is the symbiote god. I imagine he has a lot of power. And we are going to be seeing Joe Fixit. I like Joe Fixit. I like when Al Ewing was talking about him in the regular series. Obviously, that ties back to I think it was a lot of the stuff Peter David had done. But it was all cool. It was a lot of fun. I'll probably check this out because I am going to be reading King of Black. I know I'm a sucker, people. It might be a prelude for another event. I'm going to do it, though. I'm going to take the leap. I'll probably really read this, too, because I like Aaron Kuder's art. I like Joe Fixit. And Al Ewing, for a spell, had a great comic book. And the last thing we get, I think this is desperate and it's kind of pathetic. Marvel's King in Black invades Atlantis Attacks final issue. No one's reading Atlantis Attacks. It's a terrible comic book. I believe it was launched out of the Agents of Atlas series. What was that in? Was that in War of the Realms? I believe it was War of the Realms. Greg Pak has been working on that series since then. This will be the last issue ending in December, and it's going to tease the Marvel King in Black event series. All right, well, we got anything interesting in here? Greg Pak and artist Ario, I'm not even trying that one, bring the war between the Agents of Atlas and the armies of Atlantis to a startling conclusion this December in Atlantis Attacks #5, with the fate of the world hanging in the balance, people. All will be revealed in this titanic tale of love, betrayal, featuring Namor, Shang-Chi, Silk, Wave, and more. And when the dust of one war settles, a new enemy will emerge from the depths. So I imagine the very last page of this we'll see the heroes of Atlas successful in their war, and then Noel will show up on the last page and be like, "You're done, folks," and that will be the huge tie-in. I'm not checking this out, even though I am reading King in Black. Not even a big event like that can bring me to Atlantis Attacks or any of the Agents of Atlas stuff, which I should be interested in because I live in Asia and stuff. I like Asian heroes, but it wasn't very compelling. I have not heard a single good word about Atlantis Attacks. If you have one to stay, definitely put it in the comment section. I'd love to hear from you. Was I wrong? Should I retroactively go back and read this series? I'm thinking not, but you could change my mind. Who knows? But that's it, folks. This is also going to be tying into King in Black. Obviously, like I said, Marvel are putting a ton of emphasis on King in Black right after Ten of Swords is over. I think they want to end the year off with a bang. They certainly did that last year when they had Powers of X, House of X, Powers of 10, also with Absolute Carnage going on, really bumped their numbers and was the only reason those three series were the only reason that the industry really ended up in the green. It was gonna break even or go be in the red until those series came out. So I think Marvel was trying to end the year big like they did the year before. I don't know that that's going to happen because it feels like Ten of Swords doesn't quite have the enthusiasm that House of X, Powers of 10 had. But you never know. When the series comes, if people are excited and they want to buy all 27 or 30 issues or whatever it is, maybe it will be a big hit. I have absolute faith King of Black will I have absolute faith King of Black will be a big hit. Also, if you are in the Northeast, I do hope you had a pull list and you do get your Thor and your X-Men comics. if you're affected, let me know in the comment section, and we'll see what we can do. Maybe there's a retailer out there that can get you a copy via mail or something. I do have a lot of retailers in the comments. I also have a lot of retailers on the Thinking Critical YouTube team that contribute to the channel. So you never know. Good things could happen. If you need a comic, put it in the comment section, and you never know, like I said. So that should do it, folks. That's the Marvel news. Not a lot of news. A lot of King of Black stuff. We got some bad news for people in the Northeast. But other than that, it's going to be a lot of DC Comics here for the next few days because DC fandom hasn't even happened. And I've still got 2 more videos to make. So I will see you later, folks.
If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. I would appreciate it very much. It helps us attract more views for the channel. Subscribe for future commentary, comic book news, and reviews. And don't forget to ring the bell for notifications. If you want to talk comics, movies, and much, much more, you can follow me on Twitter at Wes_from_TC. With that, Salamat Po, and I'm out.